What's up, guys, and welcome back for another EVE Online video. Now, the Havoc expansion notes have come out today. I'm going to go through the article. I'm going to try to paraphrase because it's a pretty long article and kind of hit the high points and give you my thoughts and kind of give you an idea of what I plan to do after release. Now, Havoc will come out on November 14th, so that's very, very exciting. Initially, Havoc seemed to me like something that was just an addition to faction warfare, and a lot of that is still true, which kind of like with Viridian, it didn't really affect me, and it didn't really add any new gameplay from my kind of gameplay loop. I do believe that since I've been kind of talking about doing a solo PvP series, I might try to incorporate Havoc's expansion features into that. I will be putting out a lot of videos over the new ships and the insurgency and all of that stuff, but none of that we will be seeing until Tuesday because a lot of that content is under embargo. So until then, I'll be just going through this, giving you guys the what's publicly known right here and what my thoughts on everything is. Now, you'll be able to enlist with the Angel Cartel and the Garissa Pirates and stations, which is owned by them. There'll probably be a UI window like here where you can kind of get through that whole process. The minimal standings requirement is -2 or better. So working this whole weekend, you probably want to, if you want to get into Pirates, insurgency and stuff like that, you should probably start working on those standings, doing anything like epic arcs or everything. I still have to actually look at a lot of the tunes I'm going to be using and kind of figure all that out. If I figure out a really good plan on rebuilding standings, I'll make a video over it. I don't think any of my tunes are more than -2, so we should be able to join right away. Now, the Angel Cartel are at war with the Amar Empire and the Minotaur Republic, and the Garissa Pirates are going to be against the Caldari and the Galante. So if you're enlisted in the pirate militias, you can freely engage Capsuleers enlisted with rival Empire militias or vice versa. Capsuleers enlisted with the Angel Cartel can be attacked by factional warfare Empire police in Amar and Minotaur space. And the same goes for Caldari and Galante, which they go over right here. Enlisting with pirates will give perks in Zarzak, including free entry to access to jump clones, offices, and the shipcaster. And then enlisting with pirates will also enable you to take part in the insurgency gameplay and everything. Now, here's some cool, interesting stuff. Zarzak and the Fulcrum have pretty much, are going to get turned on to the full extent. The Fulcrum will feature a deathless hangar environment, which I'll cover and I'll kind of showcase in videos. And then players who are enlisted with the Angel Cartel will get access to a special Angel Cartel hangar environment, while those who are enlisted with Garistas will have a themed hangar for them. And then players who have an active deathless retribution timer are unable to dock regardless of if they're aligned with either of the militia. The Fulcrum will allow unaligned neutral players to use most of the facilities in the station, including repair, fitting, market, insurance, and industry facilities. Some additional facilities and powerful industry bonuses are only available exclusively to players who are enlisted with Angel Cartel and Garissa Pirates. This is interesting because going down here, well, I'll kind of give you my thoughts on that once we get kind of through all this. The station industry facilities include full manufacturing, research, copying, and invention. So that makes it very, very invention very, very accessible. So just rolling a pirate faction warfare tune and training them into doing industry where you can do like invention in the Fulcrum would be pretty cool. The Fulcrum has a 6% ME bonus and a 70% time efficiency bonus when manufacturing any subcapital Angel Cartel or Garissa pirate ship. So your Gilas, your rattlesnakes, even like all the new stuff that's coming out, you go in there and build that stuff at a 70% time efficiency is going to be pretty good. Now, players who enlist with the Angel Cartel and the Garissa Pirates will enjoy an additional bonus that reduces the industry job SCC surcharge by 90%, which is a pretty good amount. The Jump Clone Bay can only be used by players enlisted with the Angel Cartel and the Garissa Pirates, so if you are aligned with one of those, you can plant a clone over there for easy access to check things like jobs that you're running. But for me, I'd probably end up actually. I have the skills where I can kind of go pretty far away from where I'm doing research to kind of manipulate that stuff. But nice to have a jump bay there. The offices present in the Fulcrum can only be rented by corporations or alliances which have enlisted with the Angel Cartel and Grease the Pirates. So if you enlist as an individual, the corporation will have to actually enlist as a corporation to get offices there. It's going to be interesting to see how expensive those are going to end up being. Now, the Deathless Shipcaster, it will then be fully functional, and the Shipcasters will alternate between forward operation bases, FOBs, systems, and active insurgencies with a 60-second charging phase and a 60-second active phase. The only cartel aligned players can jump to Angel FOBs, and the same goes for Garistas. If you're aligned Garista, you can only jump to Garistas FOBs. Zarzak has now been removed from the autopilot blacklist. Zarzak has also been added to the default avoidance list. If you have your own custom avoidance list, it will not be on there. And then bombs and interdictor bubbles can now be used in Zarzak. So you'll probably be seeing a lot of bubbles on the Zarzak gates. So expect that to be something that you're going to have to work around. But I pretty much travel in every ship I travel, it basically is bubble ready. For the most part, just from living in nullsec for so long. Now, a lot of the stuff for the insurgencies is going to be very much attuned to like how faction warfare kind of operates. And it talks about the players who you can contribute to the LP stores and stuff like that. I'm gonna skip through a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna put the link to this article in the description, but it's also available on the launcher. But we're going to talk about the pirate activities and kind of the corruption and suppression level bonuses and what that really kind of means moving forward for systems that have insurgencies. Now, corporate outpost raids, these are very similar to just normal faction gameplay capture sites. You'll be able to go in here and they operate the same as faction warfare. You just defeat the other mob. It has a cooldown timer to capture, and then you get an LP reward. There's different levels of them. And if you're, like for instance, if you're at Garistas, you can go and capture or defend or take Galante 1 or whatever. Now here's an interesting one, the mining ambush. Now this is a site where a friendly or Rorqual will be tackled by pirates. Now as a pirate, you'll be able to fight off the Mardu mercenaries and arrive to protect it. And eventually the Rorqual will give you basically a pay and ransom, and then it'll pass that along in spoils as LP, and you'll get system corruption from it. But if you prefer blood instead of LP, you can actually destroy the Rorqual for a bit of loot and system corruption. Anti-pirate players can also choose to help the Rorqual by destroying the pirate ransom NPCs until the Rorqual will eventually be able to warp off and leave. And if the anti-pirates actually allow the Rorqual to actually get off grid, then they'll get LP and benefits on their side. I thought this was actually pretty interesting because it basically lets you go and mess with a capital ship. Next up is the pirate laundering centers and counter-insurgency outposts. Once systems reach corruption and suppression threshold, roaming NPCs which warp around the solar system will appear, kind of like when in high sec when pirate fobs are around, and they'll be killed. They can be killed for valuable items which can be turned into at the pirate laundering centers and found in the fob and everything. Now, there's different war HQ systems respective militias in a lot of these different zones, and turning items and will grant you reward crates. Now, here's the pretty much like a lot of that has a lot of commonality with faction warfare. What we really want to know is like what the corruption and the suppression system and how all that works. So, as insurgency content is completed by either the pirate or the anti-pirate sides, systems will increase in corruption or suppression. If you're a pirate, you're going to be going for corruption. And if you're anti-pirate, you're going to be going with suppression of the said corruption. When certain thresholds of corruption and suppression are reached, the system will go up to the next corruption or suppression stage. Each stage brings new effects and shapes the rules of the system. Note, while the insurgency content is currently the only way to raise or lower the suppression, it is possible for any system in the game to have corruption or suppression value that may affect systems even outside of insurgencies. Now, I want you to think about this in terms of when we start going through the corruption and the suppression of things, how they modify the systems. What this means that is if the pirate insurgency is strong enough, there is a chance that systems even like JITA could be corrupted and suffer the benefits of corruption or the penalties of corruption, depends on what side you're on. So let's kind of go through that a little bit. We'll start walking through the corruption. At stage 1, increased PvP loot drops for pirates only will be at 7.5%. And then faction navy and criminal police NPCs stop spawning in high security systems, which means that Concord will stop spawning. And then at stage 2, we get 15% PvP loot drops for pirates. And then in insurgency systems, roaming pirates will spawn and start to appear around warp in the system and kind of do their thing. At stage 3, we go up to 22.5% total PvP loot drop bonuses. And then unique, if it's in an insurgency, the system will spread the insurgency to an adjacent system if possible. Now going up to stage 4, we're up to a 30% PvP loot drop bonus for pirates. And then we also have the NPCs roaming. And all players who are in the pirate militia gain a 2 AU per second warp speed bonus. Now, level 5 is what's crazy. And imagine what the benefits of level 5 would be like in a system like JITA. So at max corruption, we're looking at 37.5% bonus to PvP loot drops to pirates. The faction navy and the criminal police NPCs will stop spawning. You'll have the powerful NPCs flying around the system as well. All pirates will be able to move 2 AU per second faster. Sentry guns and low sec will no longer respond to players who have a suspect timer in their presence. And this is unique for high sec only. Attacking a ship, a structure, drones is now possible without a criminal timer and Concord response. Concord will only respond to capsule kills or assisting someone with a criminal timer in the system. If it's a low sec system and they have max corruption, sentry guns will now additionally ignore all criminal timers in their presence, and players will now can now use interdiction sphere launchers, warp disruption field generators, bomb launchers, and defender launchers. Think about that. It essentially turns a low sec system into a null sec system in terms of using bombs and warp bubbles and interdiction. Like, so you're going to see heavy interdiction cruisers. You're going to see flycatchers. It's going to be insane. So if this really is kind of popular and all that stuff, then it could be it could really shake up high sec and low sec a lot, which is pretty interesting and would be kind of fun. Now let's kind of like step through the suppression side of it as well. A lot of it's going to be parallel but flipped. So for suppression, bounties from NPCs will be 5%. So this is the benefit of actually keeping the corruption suppressed as much as possible. Bounties from NPCs will be 5% bonus, and then increased security status gains from NPCs is going to be a bonus as well. So you'll be able to like make sure you keep that 5.0 pretty good. At stage 2, 10% bonus to the bounties, and then 10% on the security status gains, and then increased Empire Faction Warfare Militia LP gains at a 5% bonus. Stage 3, we go up to 15% of the bounties. We go up to 15% of the security status, and then we also go up to 10% on the Faction Warfare Militia LP. Corruption gains in the system are reduced by 30%. And in insurgency system, roaming and forces spawns will start to appear and warp around the system. At stage 4, we're up to 20% of the bounty for NPCs, 20% on security status gains from NPCs, 15% from LP gains, and the corruption is reduced by 30%. Same with the enforcer warping around the system. And then all players who are in Empire Militia gain 10% bonus to the range of stasis webfires and warp scramblers. So this is when it really starts getting turned on. And then we're just going to go through this real quick. Bounties 25, status 25, LP 20%, and then corruption for the system is still at 30. We have the NPC enforcers running around. We got 10% range to stasis webs and warp scrams. And then for the unique, if it's an insurgency system, elite sentry guns will be deployed by the roaming enforcer NPCs. These sentry guns are vastly more powerful than the regular sentry guns, including ECM and target painting effects, in addition to vastly increased damage per second. These sentry guns are also immune to sentry gun disabling effects from Corruption 5. So, pretty crazy. A lot of things that can really alter a high sec or a low sec system, for sure. Now it's going to go real fast through the LP store stuff. I'll do a video kind of showcasing the LP store stuff and everything. But as you can see here, you can get a lot of the blueprint copies for the new Angel and the Garista ships, and these are all of the LP cost and the S cost for everything. They'll also be able to get just regular faction pirate stuff as well, like Dramiel, Cinnabon, and everything like that. And then you also get pirate modules, various pirate modules, and Dominion gyro blasters and stuff like that. And then data cores, kind of everything you'd normally expect from like the LP store. Zarzak, I think, also has like an LP store. So if you're kind of basing out of Zarzak or the Fulcrum, you should be able to access a lot of this stuff as well. All right, next we're going to go through the pirate ships. Some of the stuff you've seen. They earlier in the month, they talked about the destroyers already, which the Garista's destroyer here has a 7.5 bonus to small projectile and tracking speed, and 10% to small projectile fall off. And then it has 100% bonus to small projectile turret and 25% bonus to warp speed and warp acceleration. Mamba is basically like a drone boat destroyer here. 4% bonus to all shield resistances. It's got the kinetic and thermal missile damage that we've seen is pretty common, and 300 bonus to light drone and hit points. And then over here we've got the battle cruisers. These are kind of the new ones and everything. I'll do more in-depth videos on all this stuff that you'll be able to see. But 10% bonus to medium projectile turret fall off, 5% to medium projectile turrets, and then you have medium projectile turret rate of fire, warp acceleration, projectile turret optimal range and fall off. Command burst module use can use one of them, and then 50% to command burst area of effect and range. Now, probably my favorite ship that I'll probably be doing a lot with is going to be the Alligator. This is basically a souped up Drake. So we're looking at getting a 4% bonus to shield resistances. We get 10% bonus to kinetic and thermal heavy missile and heavy assault. I'll probably actually fit this with heavy assault missiles. 500% bonus to medium combat drone damage. 250% bonus to medium combat drone hit points. 12.5 bonus to drone micro warp velocity, so they move around a lot quicker. Got a command burst that we can use, and 50% bonus to command burst area range of effect. That's probably going to be my go-to daily driver in doing larges and opens as far as insurgencies go. And then we have the Angel Titan here, which has bonuses based on your Galante Titan level and your Minotaur Titan level. So I'll probably do a little bit of a showcase on this as well. Giving access to the hull is probably going to be kind of challenging. But 6% bonus to warp ship core string. You got 10% bonus to projectile turret fall off. 5% to capital projectile turret tracking speed. For the other Titan skill, 6% bonus to ship warp core strength, 200% bonus to capital projectile turret, and 5% to the rate of fire for capital projectile. And then its roll bonuses are kind of as expected. Doomsday module, the generator here, jump portal generator, clone bat bag, 3 command burst, and so forth. Stasis web effect. I'm gonna look at it in game. I want to see kind of how it looks. I mean, I like what the look of it is, like kind of like the aesthetic of it. But we'll kind of see how it all plays out and everything. I'm not really big into Titans because a lot of what I do is kind of small caps or small fleet stuff, if not just completely solo. But maybe holding one would be kind of cool. But they're gonna be everything. All these faction ships are gonna be very, very expensive until the market and the environment kind of gets saturated with them. So I wouldn't expect to jump in day one into any of these holes unless you go grind that LP yourself and run that BPC yourself. Anything on the market is going to be vastly, vastly overpriced. So I probably wouldn't try to buy it at face value in the beginning. And then they have updated Pirate Titan build costs and everything. So in this article, if you're looking at building one, you can go in here and look at all of these different adjustments for these things. And then Indicom stuff, we've got some skill books that are available through Concord and DD stations as well. And then we have some new Alliance emblems and stuff that are coming, and then some Homefront stuff. But really, I wanted to kind of like cover the new ships and the corruption and the suppression thing and everything. And they're gonna be giving a lot more stuff to like the corporation project manager stuff, where you can actually do auto payments for opportunities and and projects, which I might tweak around with. I mean, I'm the only person in my corporation, so the only person making those projects and doing them would be me. So that probably doesn't hit me too much, but I can see how setting up projects and having them automatically pay out would be pretty nifty and everything. And then some new player experience stuff, but a lot of it's just kind of tweaks and everything. But I don't want this video to run too much longer, but thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you're excited for Havoc, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.